எல்லோருக்கும் வணக்கமும் நன்றிகளும். ஒரு மணி ஆகின்றது, இன்னொரு 20 நிமிஷத்தில் சாப்பிட போகணும். So it's going to be one very soon, so I'll be very brief. I like to talk to 1 hour, but they won't allow me to do that. Okay. So I come from Mars, not Mars. So I eat lots of Mars chocolates when I was undergrad and postgrad. But I currently work in this Mars building. It is an intersection of university and college just in front of the Ontario Parliament. So the top 4 floors are occupied by our arm's length agency of the Canadian Ontario provincial government. Why I say Mars? Because I normally work in interfaces. I work in the interface between molecular biology and computing. And today's presentation is also going to be in an interface between an academic and an activist. So whatever I am going to present today is a synthesis. It is not my primary research. Okay. It is economy stupid. We have heard this before. Who said this? James Carville, Bill Clinton's campaign strategist. When Bill Clinton was standing for his first presidency, this economy was going bad, so the campaign was, it is economy stupid, nothing else. Have you heard this before somewhere else? Yes, our national leader has said this. சுயநிறைவான தன்னில் தானே தங்கி நிற்கும் பொருளாதார வாழ்வுடைய சமூகமாக எமது சமுதாயம் உருவாக வேண்டும் என்பதே எனது விருப்பம். What Honorable Velupilla Prabhakaran has said is, we strive for an economically self-reliant and self-sustaining society. So based on those principles, let's talk about the current economic situation and how we can improve our economic aspirations. So the current focus is on one of the boxes. We are talking about genocide, crimes against humanity, justice and reparations for the victims, and we also talk about how we get these justice in international courts of justice, or we want to move towards universal jurisdiction and the new political process, or whether we are going to have a new constitution. All of these are interrelated, and we have talked about it yesterday and few speeches this morning. On the other hand, there are 3 R's and 1D proposal which has been proposed and being implemented to some extent in the last 9 years. Rehabilitation, resettlement, reconstruction of all the war-affected people, and the development. Now, having said that, how far we have advanced on these topics is a very big question. So after 2009, most of us from the diaspora or even from our homeland, we had been advocating and doing short-term projects. Short-term means something less than 5 years, or slightly more than a medium-term project lasting for 10 years. So we are from 2009, we are on the 9th year, next year will be 10 years. These are very, very essential. சாப்பாடு இல்லாமல் ஒருத்தன் இருக்கலாம். So food is the primary most important thing in life. Without it, nothing happens. So we had to feed the people. We had to provide shelter to the people. So that is the primary most very essential thing. Multiple actors have participated in this, NGOs, international NGOs, diaspora, at various levels. And we have done many projects, all with good intentions, right? We want to help. But there had been lack of coordination. Sometimes duplications have happened. Sometimes not the real effect has happened on the ground. So these issues are there. Now, the other question we want to ask is how long we can sustain this. We have gone and given money to buy a cow or a goat. Now, goat gets some infection of viral infection and dies. We don't know anything about it, right? So we are happy saying, oh, I have bought him a goat, so the family will be okay. It's not so, right? We have built libraries. Every village councils here, every OBS build libraries. Have you provided enough books there? Right? So then the outcomes of these are very, very suboptimal. Right? So what's happening because of that is a creeping disinterest from the diaspora and from the homeland. Homeland, people are not really benefiting with all this investment. And on this side, on the diaspora, there's a serious disinterest. We have provided that. Why should we worry about it? 10 years have gone. That sentiment is creeping in. Now, what does this picture tell us? There's an elephant in this room. None of us are seeing it, right? Now, I'm not a UNP card-carrying member. My slides are in green, but that doesn't mean I am associated with UNP, right? Elephant is also a symbol of UNP party, which is the current governing party, right? Okay, not you. So Sri Lankan state, very cleverly, we have seen in the presentation this morning, is doing colonization in a very, very subtle, not overt manner. Before the revolution, before this 1983, national liberation started in a fully blown pattern, the colonization was very, very open. They will bring people, just settle it. Now it doesn't happen like that. So they are, in a subtle way, they are giving employments, they are giving this benefit, that benefit, so the people are just coming and colonizing it. So there are a few examples. So after tsunami, all the international communities have funded lots of money, billions of dollars. And I don't want to talk about previous president putting that money into his personal bank account for 2 months. That's relevant. But some of the funding has been spent on Kurunagala, which is far, far away from the coast. Right? Similarly, in currently the Navakuli area, which is the small land strip which is connecting the peninsula with the mainland, and Vaunia, south and north regions, in Mullaitivu, and in Mannar and the whole of east, the western side of Eluvankara is being colonized in a subtle manner. Even 50,000 houses given by the Indian government, funded by the Indian government, some of the thousands are being given to the people who are not being touched by this war. And we have seen this morning that how the government is making sure that Tamil people are being in a subservient population. We are dependent on the Sri Lankan government for our day-to-day living in North and East. How they do it? They monopolize the industry. We have seen that they are running schools. Why should an army run a school? We have seen they are running hotels. Some of our brothers here go to those hotels. Army is running a fantastic hotel on the Mullaitivu coastline. They have never been there for 30 years. My blood boils when I hear that, right? So these industries and trade are being controlled by the military occupation. And they are introducing narcotics. Have you heard about Kerala Kanjal, one of the narcotics, before 5 years ago? None of us have heard about that. Now, how come not a single person from India to Sri Lanka can take a boat and go to India or come back from India, but how come all these tons and tons of narcotics are landing on the northern coast? Who is behind this? Ava is one of the biggest youth gang or a criminal gang, a lumpans. Who created that? Ava means what in Sinhala? We have a right. We have a right. We are going to show you who we are. That is the meaning. We are Ava, right? Ava, right? And also, there have been regional, religious, caste issues are being rekindled again, which we haven't heard about this in the last 30 years. Now, having said that, very pessimistic situation. Do we have a vision to go against this? Yes, we do. We will have a Tamil Vision 2030. So what is that? So if we don't have a vision, what will happen? We will stay with the unitary government. will be assimilated. By 2030, there won't be a substantial Tamil population in northern east. The current MPs or the members of parliament will be reduced to few, less than 5. How this will, so that's the issue. That's one of the options. Doing nothing, going to assimilation. Second option, striving for a federal or quasi-federal state. Or, since genocide is well established, Tamil has been undergone genocide. Yesterday I heard Professor Boyle saying, we are eligible for a separate state. We should go for that. Or, this is something which is very controversial. In Tamil we call it Pesa Porul. Are we willing to take some sort of affiliation with India to safeguard our existence in northern east? It's a very difficult question. It's a very sensitive question, but just think about it. Now, the other topic I want to touch upon is there's a political activities and political movement going on at various levels. Then there's a development discourse going on at another level. So TNA's positions is, we are talking about political process, so we won't get involved in the development process. Now, Douglas Devananda or the National Party's discourse is, oh, we are doing development, there's no political issues. But what we are trying to do, a hybrid model, both has to travel and multiple tracks, parallel tracks. So it is not either politics or development, but both. So to do that, we have to do a paradigm change here. For the last 9 years, our diaspora has been mostly reactive to things happening on the ground. When we see a news, we react. We are not proactive. So unless we change our stand from reactive to proactive, we don't have a long-term vision. Now, having said that, do we have to start with an empty blank canvas? No. We already have a good foundation. For 20 odd years, we had a de facto or de jure state, and we administrated that. We had multiple departments. So let's go back and look for that. So in 1997, this 109 pages document was created by Tamil Eelam Economic Developmental Organization called TDOR. This is still available in Google Drive. All of you can freely download it, read through that, and it's in Tamil. Okay, so I will give you some brief slides on that. So that's the content page. What it talks about it, major cities of Tamil Eelam, roads and railways and airports, electricity, Tamil Eelam communication, water supply and drainage part 1 and 2, and irrigation and water management, land use in Tamil Eelam, industries of Tamil Eelam. Mostly covered everything whatever developmental aspects we have talked about yesterday and today. So, to briefly put it in a sort of a pyramid, so land. Professor Sriskandra has talked about land issues. Water, secondary most important resource for us. Unless we find a way to have a good water management system, we'll be in big trouble. I'm not going to talk about it because I'm not an expert on that. Infrastructure. Professor Iskandraja talked about how the roads are being built to bifurcate or trifurcate our land. Then the other issue, other economic development is power, electricity, and telecommunication. On top of that only you can build industries. So you have to think through this pyramid. You have to have land, you have to have water, you have to have infrastructure, you have to have power, telecommunication, then you build the industries. So from this TIDO book, there had been 20 different districts divided, and they have also shown roads, railways, and airports here. You can download it and see. They have talked about marine transport and harbors. They have talked about power generations. They have talked about telecommunications and where the industrial centers should come. And also, they looked at what are the primary most priority areas in industries. Now, that's fine. From where we are going to go. So, Tamil Vision 2020, we have to aim for, within the next 11 years, at least 2 companies which are capable of generating $1 billion. And 100 companies, 20 companies with 100 million, 300 with 10. So the effort is, within the next 3 years, the diaspora all over the world, let's try to make 100 different companies at least $1 million each worth, right? I know some of them will not work, some of them will fail. Whatever works, we'll build. Now, to do that, we have to do few things. We need a comprehensive need assessment. We don't have a need assessment even after 2009. Nothing happened. Then define the achievable things. We had to develop a think tank. We had to partner with homeland, diaspora, small, medium industries, multinational corporations, state and non-state actors. And we had to organize sectorial expert committees. Entrepreneurial startup mindset is important, and agile, building fast and failing fast mechanisms, that mindset is important. We have to aim for knowledge economy. We have to aim for resource accumulation, and we have to build brands and IP generation. Okay. So let's talk about some priority sectors. Energy. We will look at solar and wind integrated hybrid model. So Canadian government is now going into carbon cap and trade system. So that's very useful where to build these things, build these solar wind power and then write off some of the expenses. We can go for biofuel. In the agri industries, some of my friends are working on making some of these high protein, high nutritive values agri industry products. And we have very good wine grapevine cultivation in the north. We can do branded wines, which will be famous as Bordeaux wines one day. And we can go for enzymes and secondary metabolites. On computing, we have thousands of our people doing ITs and computer science. We can go for Bangalore style IT services. And in that, we can go into new technologies like machine learning, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things. I can't talk about it now because time is of a constraint. And pharmaceuticals, if you look at in Toronto, we have hundreds of our brothers and sisters who are working in pharmaceuticals. Right? Are we doing any entrepreneurship? No. So let's do something there. And on the genomic side, one of these emerging fields, on the medical sciences, in UK alone, we have got 8,000 medically qualified Tamil doctors. How many entrepreneurship, how many medical businesses have come out of it? On accounting and back office, in CRA here, probably we see hundreds of Tamil accountants working on that. And precision engineering, manufacturing, and one of the last important fact is shipbuilding. We built, for Sea Tigers, built their ships, stealth ships, very high quality stealth ship, equivalent to what US Navy was building. Now we have the technology. Where is it gone now? Okay. Now that's fine. This is one of the projects I am doing currently, sequencing Palmyra, very close to my heart. And we are doing a whole genome sequencing. If any kids are, any younger generation is interested, talk to me. And I have a job ad. Any of you know a MSc who wants to do an MSc in computer science with U of T, who will do in the interface between computing and biology, please contact me. My address is there. So now, to finalize this, great minds may not think alike, right? But we like each other's company. A brilliant idea in isolation is not enough to create a real breakthrough. To do that, Adamban Kodiyum Chirandal Mutukku. Nandri.